we are the instruments chosen by Baba to establish a world of peace. Yes. So the first qualification of somebody who is entrusted with establishment of peace is that you stay peaceful. Yes. And so we must look at what takes away our peace, because essentially every soul is peaceful. But what is it that takes away our peace? So we have to identify those things, and we have to take care to stay peaceful come what may. And Baba today gives us a very good yukti, and the yukti is to know that everyone is, in this godly family, everybody is a brother and sister to me. So Baba says, sweet children, you are instruments for establishing peace. Therefore, you have to remain very, very peaceful. Let it remain in your intellects that you are the Father's adopted children and are therefore brothers and sisters. And Baba says that when you remember that by virtue of being Baba's adopted children, you are brothers and sisters, then that attitude or that awareness that everybody is a brother and sister will help you stay peaceful come what may. Because you see that in the world we have this relationship where we are always we are coming in contact with souls where it's an ego-based system, and in that ego-based system you always come in contact with a soul and you consider them to be less than or greater than you. Yes, don't you? So whenever you are coming in contact with souls in the, in the Lokik family, in the world, in the workplace, or in the Alokik family, what you understand is every soul is either less than or greater than you, because it's a body conscious world. And according to that programming of body consciousness, you always see everybody as in their role or in their position or in their social setting, and then there is this less than, greater than that is always working. And in that consciousness of less than and greater than, you either overestimate or underestimate. Okay, so when you think that somebody is greater than you, then you start expecting some things from them. You assume that they should be like this and should be like that, and you overestimate them. And then what happens is, when they don't meet your expectations, when they are not as wise or as big-hearted or as understanding or as skilled or as talented or as fair and as proper as you expected them to be, you lose your peace and you start questioning, why, what, this, that. And I have felt that, when you think that somebody is greater than you also, then that veil of ego blinds you towards spiritual knowledge, and you forget that everybody is a soul on a journey, and a brother soul or a sister soul, and everybody has their own struggles, and we need to have just compassion for each other, not expectation that come from overestimation or some assumptions that come from underestimating somebody. So, when you think that somebody is greater than you, then also you have certain assumptions based on your body conscious approach. Let's say you have a senior at work, then you would expect them to be a certain way, at least know more than you, or be fair, be just, or do justice to the office they are holding, or whatever. Again, that is all your idea of justice and your idea of fair that you will apply there. And then when you come into interaction and there are episodes where your assumptions and your expectations are not met, then you will lose your peace over it. And similarly for those who you think is less than you. So, you always think that, this is good for nothing and they are good for nothing. And then you lose your peace when you start seeing them as, when they surprise you with their goodness or talent or whatever, then also you lose your peace, because then you start feeling jealous or you start feeling other things about them. So this is why Baba says that it is very important that you understand that everybody is just a soul, and the relationship between you and the other soul is fraternal. So you are a brother and sister to each other, and in this relationship the only thing that you can exchange is a compassionate vision, a compassionate attitude. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. So Baba says, don't look at the role or the body or anything else. Just know your brothers and sisters. And also, in case of a brother and sister, there is a lot of acceptance. So when somebody is your brother or sister, you accept them the way they are, because I think it is because you know their whole journey. So, if you have a sister or a brother and they used to be really sweet as children, everybody is sweet as children, right? And then you see them growing up and you see them how they mess themselves up. And then somebody, even if, you see some behavior, you know where it came from. You know what episode in their life triggered it, or how they came to being like this. So this is why you can accept them the way they are. And I remember that, there was these two sisters, and one sister was really, into erratic behavior. So she would just abruptly say something, abruptly do something, so that her behavior was very erratic. And anybody around couldn't have compassion for her, because her behavior was so erratic that most people got offended by her. But the sister, her sister, she always had a lot of compassion for her. And whenever she would engage in this abrupt behavior, she would say, okay, she got triggered by this. So when she was 17, this happened. So, and when she was 19, this happened, and then her husband abused, and this happened, and that happened. And so now she's in that frame. And she would have a lot of acceptance and compassion for her. Why? Because you know the whole journey, so you can have compassion. Similarly, now theoretically we know every soul's journey, don't we? So we know that all the brothers and sister souls, we started as pure, peaceful, loveful, blissful, and especially in the alaukic family, we all started as a deity. But then now Maya has messed everything up, and now we are here, and we are not in our best behavior or our best personality traits, but when you look at the other soul in the Brahmin family, at least, you look at them with the assumption now that they could be a soul of very high order, but right now they are not in their senses, so it will take some time, but they will come to being themselves. So Baba says this kind of an attitude allows you to stay peaceful come what may. And when so you cannot stay peaceful with all these ego based and body conscious sanskars. So obviously there has to be a shift in the consciousness level. So Baba says you have to hold it in your intellect that this is a brother soul or a sister soul. If you don't hold it in that way in your intellect, then what happens is you will not want to lose your peace, but you will. So it's very important that we consciously hold this knowledge in our intellect. Then there is another thing which makes us lose our peace, which is moral arrogance. So we have this moral arrogance that I am right and the other person is wrong, or I am right and they are wrong, and when I am right, it is right for me to lose my peace. So this is a very deep programming from the Copper Age. So the most right people are the most peaceless people in the world. And there was this one brother, and he came to the center. He was around 70-75 years of physical age, and he told me that you people can stay peaceful because you are naive and you are young and you have not seen the world, and he just expressed whatever he assumed, and he said that because you people are very naive and very inexperienced and you have not seen the world, so that is why you can see peaceful. But in Hindi he said, मैंने धूप में बाल सफ़ेद नहीं किए हैं. So I have seen the world, and I have gray hair, and I have had a lot of experience of the world, and that is why being peaceful is a challenge for me, because I know and understand the intentions behind faces and behaviors and this and that. And then I told him, if being naive helps to be peaceful, I would choose to be naive, and I don't have appreciation for the experience that makes you bitter. So what have you gained by being so experienced when all your experience has made you bitter? And then I told him that it is not experience, it is moral arrogance. So where there is no spiritual light, there is moral arrogance. You don't understand the truth. The truth is every soul's sanskars are different, and every scene in drama is different, and every scene has a secret in its heart that it is beneficial, but you have to look at it that way to see the benefit. So it's not it's your drishti which will make you, the soul conscious spiritual drishti will make you see everything and experience the peaceful state in yourself while looking at people and places and behaviors and everything. But Baba says that when you have all this morality of the world in yourself, then you lose your peace very often. So you have to remember that each one is a soul, and every soul's sanskars are different. And although you think that you are right, they are wrong. Everybody is right according to themselves. So they don't understand your right, you don't understand their right, but everybody is right according to themselves. And when you see that, then obviously you need communication. And so, when there is a matter which involves you and the other soul, and there has to be a decision which has to be taken collectively, then you will require to communicate and talk and come to a decision, but you will do that peacefully, because you have this knowledge in your heart that each one is a soul and each one is unique and different, and they have their own sanskars, and whatever they are bringing to the table is because of their sanskars. And it's not about right or wrong, it's about the difference in sanskars that is inbuilt in every soul. So, everybody is unique, their part is unique, their sanskars are unique. And when you hold that in your heart, then that also helps you stay very peaceful, because you don't lose your peace over right and wrong. You don't lose your peace because of moral arrogance. So this is something also which helps. So, and how peaceful do you stay during the day? Because you see that when we don't hold these points of knowledge in our awareness, then we lose our peace at the drop of a hat. So we are always giving up our peace, letting go of our peace in several incidents during the day. But what Baba says is, now you have to have the Swaman, that you are the chosen instruments to establish the world of peace. And do you understand that there is a lot of power in the being? And there is this one sister, and she came to me, and she's 85 years of age, and she told me that I'm a good for nothing. She told me that now I am old and she told me I'm old and rotten. And she told me that my limbs don't work, my body is not cooperating with me, I'm not able to remember things, I'm not able to contribute anything to anybody's life. So I'm basically a good for nothing. And then I told her that, why do you say you are a good for nothing? Because she said, I can't do much and I don't have much also. It's not like I have good property which I can give to my children or something. So I'm basically a waste, just waiting to die. And then I told her, but you see, it's not the having and the doing that counts. It's the being that counts the most. And I told her that, the world celebrates the being. So, but you don't focus on your being. Like when you go to a temple, then what is the deity doing? Nothing. It's just a statue sitting over there. But, it's the vibration because of which you go with folded hands and bowed heads to the temple. Yes, you go there so that you can receive that vibration. Why do you bow down in front of a sadhu or a sannyasi or any ascetic? They don't have the power of having and doing. So they are not doing anything for you, or they are not having anything for which you are bowing down to them. But it is the power of being, it is the power of purity, because of which even the richest of person will go and bow their head in front of them. And just think about it, if you can feel the vibration in a temple where there is not even one soul. So, it's just an image of a deity. It's not even a living deity in the temple. Or you can feel the vibration of somebody who has left the home and embraced a life of purity. So, if you develop that same purity and peace within you, how valuable would you be? And what would be your contribution to the world? So, Baba says, people are so consumed by, what I have and what I do, and they're trying to find worthiness in that. They are trying to find a sense of worthiness in that I'm defined by what I have and what I do, and they want to have more, do more, so that they find a sense of self-worth in it. But Baba says the being is the most worthy thing. And if you can be peaceful, and what do you have to be peaceful? Just take care to not lose your peace, because you are peaceful. But whenever you are in body consciousness, you become tangled in moral arrogance, you have this drishti of less than, greater than, you have this thought about I lost this, I gained this. So all these body conscious ways of thinking, they make you lose your peace. And Baba says, if you stay in remembrance of me, if you remember my teachings, my guidance, if you remember that you're my child, if you stay in remembrance, if you stay in awareness, then you will be able to stay peaceful always. And just imagine, Baba says that if one child stays peaceful, then that becomes a foundation for creating a peaceful world. So how much of change or shift we can bring in the world by just being ourselves. But Baba speaks these things to us in small sentences, and sometimes we don't attach that much of importance to it. But it is time that we started understanding the importance of being peaceful, staying peaceful, and not losing our peace over little things. So Baba says, just hold this, because you are the instruments for creating a peaceful world. It's not just about your physical health or other things which we think in a very limited way. It's about establishing a world order where there is complete peace. And then today Baba gives us the meaning of fully surrendered. So, who is a surrendered soul? So, sometimes we think that, in order to be a surrendered soul, you have to live in the center, or you have to, be in that league. So, Baba says, no, the fully surrendered soul is somebody. So let's understand the definition that Baba gives for fully surrendered. So Baba says, fully surrendered ones are those whose intellects are aware that they are being sustained by the godly mother and father. They say, Baba, all of this is yours, you sustain us. Even though some may have jobs, they understand that everything is for Baba. They continue to help the Father, and it is through this that the entire business of such a big sacrificial fire continues, and that everyone is sustained from it. Such children are those with surrendered intellects. Together with that, in order to claim a high status, you also have to study and teach others. While doing everything for the livelihood of your body, you have to remember the unlimited mother and father in every breath. So this is the definition of fully surrendered that Baba gives. And who is fully surrendered? Those who have an indirect relationship with their jobs and with their Lokik family, and a direct relationship with Baba. Okay, so you work, you live in the household, but the work you do and the money you earn out of it and the people around you, the ones you live with, they are all, you live in the household because that is seva. You do work because that is work that finds money for the sustenance of the yajna. So Baba says, when you live in a family setting, when you go to work, but you understand that I do everything for Baba. And although you take care of your livelihood, you understand that everything is for Baba, and apart from taking care of your livelihood, when you help the yajna, when you help Baba in his task completely, and the yajna seva is sustained by that surrendered state of your being. So when you surrender fully for yajna seva, and you experience that I am being sustained by Mama and Baba, by Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba. So my mother and father are Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba. So I am being sustained by Baba. So I have this direct relationship with Baba and indirect relationship with the money I earn and the people I live with. So the money I earn and the people I live with, that is a part of my seva. So I do it for yajna seva. But I am being sustained by Baba. Do you have that attitude? Because you see that even if you go to work, that work cannot guarantee you continuous sustenance. So, maybe tomorrow there'll be some up and down in the work or in the household or anything. But Baba says that what is your relationship with the work you do? So you go to work, you earn money, but when you understand that this money is for yajna seva and I'm going to work for Baba, then your direct relationship with Baba is such that even in the time of end, when there will be vinash and there will be no work for you, Baba will sustain you, and it is not that you will have to fear about losing the job or losing your money or all the other things that will end up in losses at that time. So Baba says, have this direct relationship with Baba and indirect relationship with work and family. And Baba says, your family is the spiritual family. Yes, your family is the spiritual family, but you live with other souls whom you thought was your family earlier, but now you understand that this is my seva sthan, and you live with them and serve them. But your real family is your Alaukik family. Your real parents are Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba. So this is what Baba is telling us, and it is just an attitudinal shift, but attitude defines your altitude. And if you have this shift in attitude, then this makes you eligible for Baba's inheritance. So this is something that Baba says. And then Baba says, it's not just that you shift your attitude towards work and family, but then you have to pay attention to study and teaching others also. Because all the mundane things that you were doing, you have now shifted your attitude and made it alokik. But apart from that, it's not just shifting your attitude in the mundane world, but you have also to pay attention to study and teaching others. And all the four aspects of study, whether it is murli, whether it is remembrance, purity or seva. And then Baba says the third thing is, whenever you, even when you are taking care of everything, it's your livelihood, your body, your livelihood, you are taking care of it, and you are the one taking care of it. But give up this consciousness of I am taking care. Do it in remembrance of Baba. So, even when it is you who is doing it, you know that you have to do it in the remembrance of Baba and with Baba's support and strength and love. So, you will do it, but you will not be burdened by it. So, do you understand that it looks like a simple thing, but we don't have that, and that is why there is this consciousness of I and mine, and because of that there is so much of uncertainty and fear and feeling of insecurity in our lives. But if we made this one shift, then all those negative feelings inside us would go away. And the second thing is, you would have the intoxication that you are in Baba's canopy now and forever. But this attitude needs to be shifted. And just listening to the Murli will not help. We have to check whether really I am a trustee and I live in the household, but I completely surrender to Baba. And Baba also tells in the Murli, there are not many children who do that. So there are very few who, even when they live in the household, they are fully surrendered. So this is the definition of fully surrendered that Baba is giving. And Baba says you can be anywhere and be fully surrendered. And it is these fully surrendered souls who carry on Baba's task. And the yajna is sustained by these fully surrendered souls. So these fully surrendered souls are Baba's right hand in taking care of the yajna. So this is something. And then today Baba tells us something very interesting about making our intellect good and powerful. So Baba says, if you want to do away with your karm bandhan, so Baba says, I think you are aware that we have had 63 births of negative karma, so vicious karma, and the body that you have, relationships that you have, the environment that you have, the setting that you live in, the culture, the country, the whole institutional framework that you live in is all a product of that karmic debit that you have incurred in the last 63 births. Do you understand that? That it is all a product of the karmic debit that has arisen because of that vicious karma in 63 births. And when we understand this thing, we understand that when there is such a huge burden of karmic debt or karmic debit, then what happens is this karmic debt doesn't allow you to earn spiritual income. So, your body will fall ill and you can't go to class, or your mood will not be fine and then you can't retain the murli, or you will have resistance from the Lokik family, or you will have resistance from the weather or the conditions in the country. So all of these things will prevent you. So otherwise you see, It is just 4 subjects. You have to listen to Murli, churn on Murli, meditate, be pure, and do seva. How difficult is it? Not very difficult. But what makes it difficult is this huge burden of karmic debt that we have. And Baba says that if you want to overcome this resistance from karmic debt that you have, then you have to make your buddhi, your intellect, very good and powerful. Because that intellect, when it is good and powerful, it will not get caught up in the karmic debt. So, do you understand how you get caught up in the karmic debt? So, let's say that, so I always give this example. So, there was this little girl who came for the course in the center. And the first day she attended the chapter on soul, and the second day when she was climbing the stairs, she fell down. And when she fell, I thought she might have got hurt. So I went and I asked her, "Are you hurt?" And then she just got up and she said, "Body ko lag gayi, body ko lag gayi, main atma hu, main theek hu." So she said, my body got hurt and I am a soul and I am fine. Now, how could she do that? Because her intellect became powerful because she imbibed what was taught in the class. And this is the power of the intellect. When the intellect is strong, good and powerful, then it can just overcome the resistance that's coming from the body, the surroundings, or whatever, because it doesn't get caught up in all of that. And when you can be free from the intellect, your powerful intellect will set you free from all the karmic debt. But how do you make that intellect powerful? So, first thing is having complete faith in Baba's knowledge. I am a soul, I am distinct from the body. I am Baba's child, I am as powerful as Baba. And I have to have complete faith that, the world of heaven is coming and I am going there. So, faith in the present, faith in the future, faith in everything that Baba tells us. And then the second thing is the journey that Baba teaches, the yatra, the pilgrimage of remembrance. So, when you talk about physical health, there are 2 things that you have to take care of to have physical power, which is diet and exercise. So, here also feeding the intellect with true knowledge, proper knowledge, and then exercising it, taking it to Baba, taking it to the new world, taking it to the soul world frequently. That is what makes it good and powerful. And when you have a good and powerful intellect, then that intellect can cross or just fly across all the karmic burdens and debts that come in your way. And that intellect helps you to stay on this journey of earning spiritual income and being eligible for going to a world of happiness. So this is something that Baba talks about, making our intellect good and powerful. Okay, Om Shanti.